Hello, I'm Tony Cordato,
And I'm Peter Pacoulis.
and we're here to talk property. Well, let's talk about buying off the plan. Lovely to do. A lot of people like it because you put your deposit down now and you don't have to pay the rest of the price for 12 months, 18 months. You've got time to save up a bit more money. If you have to have a 20% deposit, you've got another 12 to 18 months to save up the rest of the deposit, so you only need to borrow 80%.
Correct, yeah.
So there's a lot of good reasons to do it. You may not be ready to move yet, or you may have to sell something, or you may be waiting for some money to come through from somewhere. And you got a brand new property which no one else has lived in.
That's right.
So yeah, a lot of good things about buying off the plan. That's to live in, and as an investment, full depreciation.
Yes, 100%.
A lot of depreciation for up to 10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of good things. But you can't get a loan approval the day you sign the contract.
That's right, yeah.
And walk us through all that.
I will, Tony, thank you. So there's some pros and cons with off the plan. So if we're going to talk about, for example, an investment property, okay, and then we'll talk about an owner-occupied. So investment property, you're buying a property off the plan, and that might take up to 2 years to build, or there's sunset clause, there might be delays with weather and so forth. So there's a period of time that all you're doing is you're putting down your 5 or 10% deposit. Fantastic. Now, a lot of people, when they buy off the plan, they leave until the 11th hour, and they don't do any savings to have more deposit. They don't actually, they do nothing until...
And find out.
And then they find out, they get an email saying, oh, my property's nearly finished.
Yeah.
And I've
Time
got
to inspect
time
it.
to inspect it, and also do your valuation, and then settle it. So now there's pros and cons on that. You might buy a property for 500,000, and that area is growing.
Yeah.
And then that property now is worth 750 before you even settle them. So you've made 250,000 doing nothing. Or the flip side of the coin is you bought it for 500,000, you've paid too much from the beginning, and now it's only worth 400,000. Now, if it's worth more, that's a bonus. And there is banks that will actually look at the higher value instead of the contract, and they can lend you 100% plus the cost of investment, which is perfect for depreciation. However, let's talk about if you buy the property for 500,000 and now it's worth 400, you have to cover the difference of 100 grand from your own pocket, and the bank's going to lend you on 400,000 the value, not the contract, and then 80% of the 400, which is 320. So then you've got 80,000 plus the 100, so you need 180,000 plus the stamp duty. So you need about 200 plus to settle on this.
Or you could walk away and
you lose
50,000.
Or walk away and lose 50,000, you're 10%. So as soon as you buy an off the plan property and you put down your 10%, start saving money.
Yeah.
Unless you've got other properties equity and you can use the
I
equity.
mean, you should be targeting to have 20% of the price.
At least 20%. Yeah.
At least.
At least 20% plus your stamp duty. And in some cases, if it's your first property as an investment, I always say to clients, need a backup just in case the valuation comes less. If it comes more, you're flying colours.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
But you need to cover the downside.
The downside risk, Now the builders, they're there to sell. So they're going to sell for profit. They don't care if the market goes down or up.
Well, they've fixed a price.
Fixed price.
And you know why? Because their lender has said you've got to pre-sell.
Pre-sell.
Like most, if not all of those units.
Before we hand you the money.
We know how we're going to get repaid.
That's right.
We're getting repaid from sales, not you finish it and then hope people will pay you.
That's right.
We want to be assured of sales, so we know where the money's going to come from to pay our construction loan out.
Correct, yeah. So they're the risks. And even if we go on the owner-occupied, the risks are exactly the same.
Yeah, it is.
The up market or down market. So if you're putting 10% on a 500, 10% 50 grand,
deposit,
that's your deposit, and you've got 2 years, what are you doing those 2 years? Are you just waiting for a miracle to happen, because if it goes up as we discussed and you've made 250,000, perfect. But if it goes backwards and then you got to come up with a difference,
at least 10%, maybe more.
maybe more.
Another 10%.
Yeah. And over the years, I've had clients that bought off the plan and it's gone up. They've made 300,000-400,000 in capital growth. Fantastic for them. But I've had clients that they've bought off the plan $1 million. They put down 10%, 100 grand. They paid the stamp duty, and then the value of the unit was only worth 800. So they had to come up with the $200,000. The client and the customer that came to me, they said, "How can you help me?" I said, "I'm not a valuer. How can I help you?
I'm not a money machine."
Let's pray for a valuer. Yeah. So you got to make sure that if you're buying off the plan, you got to look at the pros and cons. Yeah, 100%.
No, that's good. Great. Well
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Bye-bye.